Hi guys, Yuli here. So in my zone 6, there's still plenty of time to plant spring bulbs, and I will show you my secret spring bulb stash today, which I've had for about a month and a half. And I bought all these bulbs at Costco, which is one of my most favorite places to buy both spring bulbs and summer bulbs because they carry very high quality stuff. And the Lawnfield Gardens, that's the name of the company that Costco carries, has very high quality bulbs, and high quality bulbs really matters because when you buy your spring bulbs, the flower is literally already in the bulb. And I will show you in kind of like a mad scientist way what I mean. Now I opened one of the tulip bulb bags and I will show you an example of a pretty good tulip bulb. Now, if you're new to gardening, this is a tulip bulb, and it has a pointy top where your leaves are going to come out in the spring, and it has kind of like a plump bottom. And the bigger the bottom, generally the bigger your flower is. And it's a very firm bulb. It does not have any signs of fungus or softness. So I also cut one of the bulbs in half just to show you what's going on inside of this bulb. So I sacrificed one of the bulbs for you guys. So as you can see, you can already see the leaves of your plant for the next year. And also right over here, I don't know if you can see it, I will zoom in at some point, that is your flower for next year. So the bulb already has the leaves and the flower. So the growers that are selling these lovely bulbs to you already did their job to make sure that you will have a beautiful bloom next spring. Now, the next spring, it is your job to make sure that you have another beautiful bloom for the following year. So fertilizing, making sure you're watering it correctly and cutting the foliage at the right time will ensure beautiful flowers for the following season. But right now, if you're buying beautiful, high quality bulbs, you're all set for this following spring. All right, so let me show you what I got here. And I get so excited when I get my spring bulbs and put them in the ground because spring, to me, literally starts in the fall. The moment I start planting my spring bulbs, I know it's not that long before we see the blooms. So the first tulips that I have here are pink compression, and I already have about 100 of these, and they are one of the most beautiful, reliable bloomers. They are taller than your average variety tulips, great cut flower, and also very large flowers, especially when they open on a sunny day. Just very good quality tulip, very reliable. I highly recommend. I'm just gonna go quick because I have a lot of bulbs here. Now this one I've never planted before, but these are double. Double tulips are absolutely stunning. I have foxtrot tulips in my perennial border, and my neighbors who are not even interested in gardening have asked me like 100 times, what is this? Are these peonies? Like, why are they so fluffy? These are not tulips. So foxtrots kind of look like this, but these are Finola. These I know are improved varieties of double tulips because of the older varieties, a lot of times stems literally would snap from the weight of the flower. But I'm hoping to see how these are going to do. Now this is a beautiful blend, the purples and the pinks. So I'm actually going to put like a one massing of these guys right here in the backyard. And this is kind of like a hot pink, which I'm not like a hot pink kind of a gal, but I think I'm going to put it in the front bed in front of our house just to see how they do. These are called Patriot and Infinity. And there's another double, Shirley Double and Negrita Double. Now the Negritas I have in my garden, they bloomed this spring and they were gorgeous. Again, very strong stems. They had no problems being either in the ground or in the vase. Quick note, tulips are not deer proof, and I have tons of deer in my area. They are pretty safe when I plant them in our backyard because our backyard is fenced, but all bets are off when I plant them in the front yard or in our side yard. So I do spray religiously with liquid fence in the spring. And liquid fence works, but you have to reapply it every time you have a very heavy rain. So I highly recommend, if you battle deer in your area, just try liquid fence. It also works for rabbits. Oh my God, we have a huge rabbit problem as well. So the moment you see your shoots come out of the ground of the tulips or whatever the deer intolerant bulb that you have, spray it for rabbits and spray it for deer, and just keep spraying it until your blooms are gone. All right, now for the deer proof stuff. And one of the most deer proof bulbs are alliums, or ornamental onions. And I do have quite a collection right now, but I'm always trying to build it up because it is one of the more expensive bulbs to buy. So I buy like 6 every fall and grow my collection that way. They also multiply. Each bulb creates one more baby every year, so they grow bigger and bigger. So the most spectacular of the alliums is the Globemaster. They're really large flowers. They're quite tall. Again, deer proof. You could see the little sign right here. And they're great in the arrangements. They, even when they dry, they look kind of like fireworks, and some people paint them for July 4th. Not sure how I feel about that, but okay. There's another one that I found this year, and this is a Pinball Wizard. And I've never seen these ones before, so I'm actually looking forward to try them and see how they do in the garden. So these alliums right here are called drumsticks, and I'll tell you a sad story about when I tried to plant them a couple of years ago, I think. Yes, I planted about 100, and these are very small bulbs actually compared to the Globemasters. Let's see, there we go. See. So anyways, I planted about 100 of them in one of my beds in the front yard, and my lovely contractor that does our lawn pulled every single one of them because he thought they were garlic grass. And garlic grass is rampant in our area, and everybody hates it because it's such a noxious weed. And when these come out, they look like garlic grass. But I kindly asked him not to touch my beds anymore because a lot of my plants do look like weeds when they come out, so they wouldn't know the difference. So anyway, I'm going to try again, and hopefully these guys will be safe, and there are 120 of them. Now this allium, this is Allium Atropurpureum, and I do have these in my garden. I think I have about 20 to 25. And they're very unusual looking allium. They're very dark when they come out, and they look really pretty with like a lighter flowers. They bloom about mid-May in my area, and kind of like a very unusual, exotic looking plant, like a fireworks. Now the next group of bulbs I will be forcing for early spring bloom, and hyacinths are some of my most favorite bulbs to force. They force easily and fast. You don't even need to put them in soil. You can just put them in water and put them in the fridge. Now this package does have some anemones that we'll be putting out in the garden. Those are pretty too. Now, oh, I forgot to tell you, this is Blue Jacket hyacinth, deep purple color, love it. This one is another, it's just called Shades of Blue hyacinths. The scent on hyacinths, like around January time when you force them for like early spring or late winter, it's unbelievable. It's just such a welcoming fragrance. Now these anemones here, these are Anemones coronaria, as far as I remember the Latin. The Admiral and Lord Lieutenant if you're in the zone 8, you can safely plant these out in garden. They are not hardy to my area. I think they're the furthest you can stretch them is zone 7. I'm in zone 6. I do have a bit of a colder microclimate in my backyard. So, but if you're in zone 8, it's your luck. You can plant these gorgeous flowers outside. They're actually corms. They're not bulbs. They look like dried up nothing. Like, look at this. So I've actually planted these in the garden a couple of years ago, actually 5 years ago, and they survived and they bloomed, and then our winters got a lot colder and they just disappeared. So I'm actually going to try to force them for early spring bloom as well. And I know these corms need to be soaked in the water 24 hours before you plant them, so they plump up a little bit. They are very prone to rot, so you have to just really be careful when you water these guys. I may do a video, like a separate video on these plants, because I was in love with these anemones for the longest time. I've grown them as a kid, and they are the most gorgeous flower. And the last one, of course, are Paperwhites. I will be forcing Paperwhites for Christmas. Paperwhites are one of the easiest bulbs to force. You don't have to chill them or pre-chill them. You just plant them either in the soil, or you just put them in a glass or jar of water. They will root very easily and bloom for you, and they have a lovely fragrance. You can put them on your Christmas table, or whatever the holiday you celebrate. But I just think spring bulbs are always such a welcoming sight in the winter or early spring, when they're like dying for spring color. Anyway, so this was my spring bulb stash. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're inspired to maybe get some bulbs and plant them either out in the garden or force them for your indoor use. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.